Hey, what's happening, Black people? I hope you guys are having a good day. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. Today, I want to talk about Byron Allen. Byron Allen just settled a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit that he had filed against Charter Communications. Charter Communications and Comcast were in Byron Allen's crosshairs. You might have seen this a couple years ago, and Byron threw a hissy fit about it. He was on the Breakfast Club. He did a great interview on the Breakfast Club. He was speaking in national media, covered in the New York Times, and the suit went all the way to the Supreme Court. So why was Byron upset with Comcast and Charter? It was because they would not pick up Byron's television shows, and he had some networks that he wanted to run on their platforms, and they weren't interested. So he concluded that this was due to the color of his skin and not the quality of his content or anything else. Now, I want to ask a few questions about this. I'm going to ask some hard questions about it, and we're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel. So hit the thumbs up button right now. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe, and we're going to get started right this second. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Today, I want to talk about Byron Allen. So I want to ask you guys, I want to start the day off with a yes or no question. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you were aware of the $20 billion or $10 billion or multi-billion-dollar lawsuit that Byron Allen filed against Charter and Comcast. And also, he even went after the Obama administration. He called out people like Al Sharpton and things like that, which I didn't. I'm not going to hate on that. I'm not hating on that at all. I thought that was great. Give me a yes or no if you were aware of the suit that Byron had filed. Okay, so I see some yeses. I see some nos. All right, so I see Ryan Leslie's in here. How you doing? Yes. Are you the famous Ryan Leslie? If you are, then I love your work, man. You're a good brother. T-Town, yes, I was aware. Pepiachi, I can't even pronounce that, says I heard about it. Okay, I see a few yeses, I see a couple no's. Let me give you a quick briefing. So if for those of you who were not aware of what happened, this is very quickly. So basically, Byron filed a suit, a massive lawsuit against Comcast and Charter Communications, basically concluding that he felt that they were discriminating against him because they did not allow his company, Entertainment Studios, to run his shows on their network. And so because Byron had an issue with them and he felt that it was a racial discrimination thing, and I'm not going to say that it wasn't. Y'all know white folks always going to be white. Byron, he went assalamu alaikum on them. You know, he went Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Louis Farrakhan on them. He was out at the Supreme Court, had protesters out there. I don't know if y'all remember that, but it became a thing. He did a great interview on the Breakfast Club, lit it up on the Breakfast Club, and Byron really made his case. And I listened to that interview and I listened to it in extreme detail. I did probably a 1-hour podcast about the interview. And I said, you go, brother. You are such a smart man. Your mama would be proud. I think Byron Allen's a smart dude. I really like the way he communicates. Now, here's what's interesting, right? So I'm watching this interview and I'm hearing him, make really intelligent statements in terms of connecting his suit against Comcast with things like the Civil Rights Act of 1866. And I said, well, wait a minute. What does the Civil Rights Act of 1866 have to do with your beef with Comcast and Charter? Well, basically, I guess Byron felt, and his lawyers seem to argue, that if Comcast were to win this lawsuit, that they would roll back civil rights all the way back to the Civil War, that Black people, maybe, I don't know, I don't know if they were trying to say we would end up in chains and end up dead and end up in concentration camps. I don't know. But he had some Negroes scared. He had some Negroes wild up, and we were pretty pissed off about what was going on and what Charter and Comcast might have been allegedly doing. Now, here's what's interesting. So the question that I asked myself ever since that time is I said, was this really what was going on? Or could we, because we know you're smart, Byron, right? Well, you're a smart man. Were you being a little bit dramatic? You think, I don't know. Give me a yes or no. Did you think that this was really as deeply about sort of protecting the rights and freedoms of all Black people? Or do you think it was about Byron trying to get a bag? What do y'all think? You think it was freedom or bag? Which one was he fighting for? Was he fighting for our freedom or was he fighting for a bag? Type either freedom or bag in the chat based on your answer. Freedom or bag? Which one y'all think he was fighting for? I don't know. So anyway, so Byron, okay, I see Bully J says freedom. All right. And And I see, okay, Gary says both. Okay, you can fight for both. There you go. In fact, there's freedom in the bag. If you have a bag, you tend to have more freedom. Okay, I see some boths. I see freedom. I see money grab. I see bag. Okay, all right. So here's the thing, right? We don't know. We don't know what was going on in the heart and mind of Byron Allen or his legal team when all this was going on. All I know is that I was watching this kind of happen, and I couldn't help but ask that question. And I know it's kind of a terrible question to ask because it almost sounds like I don't trust him. And that's just not true. That's not true. I don't even know him well enough to trust him or not trust him. I've never met Byron Allen, and I don't dislike the guy. I admire his accomplishments. I think he's a very smart man. But I do think, I tend to have this habit of when I see something that makes me say, I'll talk about it out loud and do a stream of consciousness so that we can all kind of figure out how we can use this example to make ourselves smarter, better people. So when I saw Byron speaking on racism, one of the dangers of people sort of in a one-to-one conflict, bringing the entire Black community to the fight, almost like, remember when you were little and one of your cousins would get in a fight, they don't punch somebody and they getting beat up on and they call all the other cousins and everybody got to go fight now because one person started the fight. And really, maybe there's a time where you were like, I'm not jumping in this fight on your behalf because you started some stuff. You're going to have to handle this on your own. I feel like sometimes there are situations, I'm not saying this is one of them, but I feel like there are situations sometimes where you'll have people that get into these one-on-one conflicts, these one-on-one kinds of situations, and then they'll try to make it bigger than just a one-on-one, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Like I've seen this where, famous people, and I'm not saying Byron's in this category. I'm really just truly not sure. But I've seen scenarios where people will have a personal beef, like they'll get fired from a job, or they'll get cut off, they'll get fired from their TV show. And this person, now mind you, this might be a person who's never ever spoken out on race before, an O.J. Simpson type, never ever really vouched for the Black community, never really did no heavy Black stuff, but would step out and suddenly it's like, hey, y'all, they racist over here, y'all. We need to go get them, y'all, right? And I felt that way when I listened carefully and literally paid very close attention to every word that Byron mentioned in that interview. And I felt that I feel that this happens especially when there's an election. When there's an election, they really be triggering y'all. I mean, left and right, up and down. They know y'all like rats in the lab. They know exactly what to say. They know all the Negro trigger words. They know all the words to use to get Black people scared because you're scared easily. That's why you ain't ready to fight for freedom yet. Some of y'all are ready. Some of y'all ain't because you're scared too easily. Anybody who scares easily needs to take the word freedom out of your vocabulary because you're only brave enough to be a slave. So just know that if you scare easily and get triggered easily, or fear mongering works on you, that means freedom might not be for you. Freedom is for grown folks who know I might take a licking, but I'm gonna keep on ticking. So here's the deal. All right. So when I saw Byron speaking on this racial issue, and I saw what was going on with him and Comcast and him and Charter, I said, well, let me just look deeper at the issue. And what appeared to be the business issue was that Byron has some shows like Cars.tv and Pets.tv. They're not Black shows. They don't sound particularly interesting. And Comcast was making the argument, and I'm not saying I agree with them at all. I'm reading here in the New York Times. Comcast seemed to argue that basically he was using race as kind of a scapegoat. That he was, quote, according to a Comcast spokeswoman by the name of Sina Fitzmaurice. I can't pronounce white names that well, but I'm going to try. She said, we feel he resorted to frivolous litigation and name calling instead of business negotiations. We think he's hijacking civil rights laws in an attempt to leverage personal financial gain. Now, I'm not accusing him of this at all. But here's what I thought about, and this is something I just want to lay out there. I'm literally going to lay this out there without making a conclusion because I don't want to tell you what to think. I just want you to think. That's it. I don't care what you think about. But here's what I thought about. Right. So when you tell me that something is that what you're going through individually involves the entire Black community, my question then becomes, okay, how does what you're going through individually affect the whole Black community? Like, if you lose your battle, does the Black community really lose? Like, are we really going to take it up the butt like you're claiming, or are you being a little bit dramatic? Then the other question I asked, here's the other question that I asked. And someone asked, did I feel like Kaepernick did it like that? Kaepernick's another conversation. We can talk about him on a different day. I want to stay focused. I want my ADHD to kick in or nothing. But then the other question becomes, if you win your battle that you're asking to enlist the Black community in, how is the Black community going to win if you get the bag? Because Byron's a smart man. He's a billionaire. Just in case you don't know, I don't need my PhD in finance to tell you this, but the reason people become very wealthy is because they know how to go get money and they don't give their money away, right? So Byron's gonna usually be working for the bag. He mentioned that his goal was to one day own CNN, and God bless him. I hope he does. I really hope that CNN gets changed to the Byron Allen Network one day. BAN. Yeah, ban, right? He can ban Don Lemon as soon as he takes over the network. That should be the first task when he takes over the network. But really, you know, I had to ask myself, if you win and you get the bag, because we know the bag is in there somewhere. This is about money. This ain't just about principle. This is about those billions of dollars. If you get the bag, how does the Black community win? So here are some measuring sticks I threw out there to try to figure out what might be going on. I'm going to break this down for you. Do me a favor real quick, though. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button. Everybody, real quick, please take a second, hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button, because that's how we build our media. We ain't got a $1 billion bag like Byron, but we've got our little media platform. We're doing our best with what we got, and you're my distribution network. And I hope if you appreciate what we're doing, I hope you'll at least take a second to lift your thumb up, hit the thumbs up button, hit the notification bell. Make sure you subscribe to whatever channel you're on. That helps us a lot. All right. And the Black Financial Channel, the URL is right there on the screen. We talk about financial topics every day, and I don't think anybody does it like we do it anywhere else on the internet. So here's a couple of criteria that I laid out. Honestly, when you're talking about things like Black wealth or Black economic power or Black power in general, first thing I'm going to look at is I'm going to say, okay, you're worth $1 billion. Okay, is that really Black wealth? And I hate being the guy to kind of bring this up, because it's going to sound like I'm being mean, but it's hard for me to be convinced thoroughly that you're building Black wealth and putting the Black community at the top of your priority list when your wife, you know, ain't a sister. I'm not hating. I'm not, when you know, I'm sure she's very nice. I don't know her name. We can call her Becky until we figure out what her name, Jennifer Lucas, that's her name. So I'm not going to call her Becky. But this is their beautiful children, and I guess this is where she's pregnant in this picture, and so I'm not. This does not mean that a person is worthless if they're married to a white person. Some of you are in interracial marriages right now. I'm not dissing that at all. No one has a right to tell you who to love. That's where the LGBT stuff comes from too. They say that as well, and that's where I agree. Nobody has the right to tell you who to love, but everybody has the right to figure out where you fit into the Black wealth equation, because Black wealth is an intergenerational team sport. Intergenerational team sport means that when I die, I could not be sitting here talking to you as the person that I claim to be and be telling you, like, yeah, let's all go build some Black wealth so I can leave it to my white wife. Like, I just really think that would undermine my credibility a little bit as a ride or die soldier for the Black community. Now, some people may disagree. Some people are going to think this is controversial. I even got relatives that might get mad at me for saying this, because I got relatives that chose not to marry a Black person. But I told you guys 10 years ago, before I ever chose to marry Alicia, I told you, I said, I don't know if I'm gonna ever get married. I ain't nobody gonna make me get married. But if I get married, it's gonna be a Black woman, because I cannot leave my wealth to someone other than a Black woman. I'm not, if it ain't gonna be my wife, it's gonna be my daughter, it's gonna be a sister, or my brother, it's gonna be somebody. I'm not gonna get no, because the best thing I can give the Black community is my life. The most valuable asset I can give the Black community is me, is my future, right? My wealth, my legacy. I can't just say, well, I'm gonna give $50,000 in charity to poor Black kids, but then I'm gonna leave the whole bag to the white woman. Like that's just not how it works. And it's a hard conversation because people think you're being mean, but I'm not being mean. I'm just being honest, right? So that's one thing I've seen people mention, and I think it's okay to mention that, and still simultaneously say that you think Byron Allen's a good dude. But I do believe that who you choose to marry does say something about what you value. This is just my bias, But I believe that I don't believe you can say, this is who I am, but who I chose to marry, who I chose to dedicate my life to has nothing to do with what I value as a human being or how I identify as a black man. I just don't believe that's true. Do you get what I'm saying? And I hope that I don't sound mean when I say this, but I think that's important to bring up. Moving on. The second thing that made me kind of wonder, and I'd love to just kind of get Byron's take on this. If somebody knows Byron, tell him he can come on the podcast. And if he comes on, I swear to God, I'm not going to attack him. I'm not going to do like Roland Martin did Ice Cube. I don't know if y'all saw Ice Cube went on Roland Martin's show, and I don't know what kind of sucker stuff he was on, but he was attacking Ice Cube and asking him detailed questions. Well, what about the legislation? What about the Biden bill? Well, in the Trump Platinum Plan, I was like, he's not a politician. He's just a black man trying to do the right thing for the black community. You should be too. Why are you grilling him like you sound like a Klansman, right? What is wrong with you? Like, just let the brother talk. So because at least somebody's trying to do something, which gets to my next point. Give me a yes or no. Byron Allen was extremely outspoken about racial issues. He was very radical toward black issues and issues related to racism when he was in the middle of his lawsuit with Comcast. Has anybody seen? I mean, we just lived through a whole election year, a pandemic, all kinds of chaos in the black community, people rioting in the streets. Have you seen Byron Allen be even 1/3 as active politically as he was when he was in that lawsuit with Comcast? Have you seen? Give me a yes or no. Have you seen, where he's popping up on CNN every week saying reparations now, black people need not even equality. Black people just want to have resources, like we need to demand something for our vote. Has anybody seen any of that anywhere? Even Bob Johnson from BET, God bless him. Y'all remember, even Bob Johnson stepped out and said, hey, it's time to, you need to write a $15 trillion check for reparations. Anybody remember that? And so I'm sitting there thinking, here's the thing. I will just say this. When Ice Cube was out there fighting by himself, he could have used some backup. I would imagine that having the backing of a prominent billionaire with access to a major media network would have helped the cause a little bit, don't you think? Don't you think? And I know Ice Cube, when I looked around and I said, okay, who's really jumping out here, saying, okay, I don't even know Ice Cube. I may not agree with everything, but I do agree with the general idea of black people getting something for our vote. How many people did that? You didn't see a lot of people doing that. And that's the thing that kind of freaked me out was I said, I'll be damned. You're Ice Cube, man. Like, I know you got a lot of celebrity friends. Everybody knows Ice Cube. Everybody remembers, it was once said by a man who couldn't quit. Like, everybody knows Ice Cube. He started this gangster shit, right? Ice Cube is like legendary. And I'm like, it seems like you'd have an army of celebrities that are echoing your call for reparation support resources to the black community. It ain't like they don't know that black people are owed something. It's not like you can debate that. That's not debatable anymore. It's almost like climate change. Like you can't debate that the polar ice caps aren't melting. That debate is over. Just like you cannot debate reparations anymore. You can't argue that somehow black people are not owed trillions of dollars for what we went through during slavery. So the only way you are not involved in that conversation in a specific way is if you are choosing to selectively forget. If you've decided that somehow it doesn't benefit you to put the black community first. So even when we come in here and we always start off every conversation the same way, we say hashtag B1, black first, B1, black first. Why is that such a radical concept? Why is it so radical to put the black community first? I guess it must be because everyone is used to the black community coming last, including black people. So what I'm going to say is this, and I'm not here to talk long about, this is not a diss track on Byron Allen at all. But I can't help but observe that all this racial energy, all this talk, all this racism talk was real heavy when you were in that lawsuit with Comcast and Charter trying to get that bag, trying to get your shows on the network. At that point, you the most radical black man in the world. But then when the lawsuits get settled behind closed doors, it seemed that he got real quiet. That's just what I observed. Now, again, now he owns the Griot and stuff, and I think that's great. I mean, God bless him for that. You know, and I don't even dislike the guy. I admire him immensely. I think he's incredibly intelligent. But I'm missing something. I need to be able to fill in the puzzle pieces to kind of know what the black community had to do with that lawsuit. You know, maybe we have to kind of think about these things a little bit differently, because it seems to me that there are a lot of people who use the black community like a side chick. Like when you need me to be there for you, I ain't nowhere to be found. But when I need you to be there for me, I'm going to use you for whatever I can get. And I can just say that if you want to know why certain agendas don't get pushed forward, like if you read Ice Cube's contract with Black America, that was a damn good document. That was a damn good document that was written by experts. Dr. Claude Anderson and people like that contributed to that document. I like to believe that some of my ideas were in there, and my PhD is 100% real. You can look it up on the internet. And so why was that not pushed forward? It sure as hell better than the platinum plan that Trump had. It was certainly better than Joe Biden's little BS plan. So why was that not being pushed forward by black celebrities who have the power and the ability to do that? Why is it incredibly radical for you to simply say, you know what, I'm black first, and I need to get my community resources first? Why does that make me the crazy one? So I'm gonna just say this. I'm not here to diss Byron Allen. This is not what I'm here for, because there's a lot of people out there that you can have this conversation about. But I'm gonna say this. You know, I work a lot with Dr. Anderson, Claude Anderson, who, you know, when people see his work, they all start just screaming from the rooftops about it. Charlemagne the God, when he saw Dr. Anderson's work, he jumped all over it. Kanye West jumped all over it. Ice Cube jumped all over it. All these people were connecting with me saying, I want to talk to Dr. Anderson. Like he literally is your living personification of Marcus Garvey in terms of his level of intellectual power when it comes to solving the black wealth equation. Well, if that's the case, then why is it not the case that the Powernomics Corporation or the Harvest Institute run by Dr. Anderson doesn't have $100 million a year in funding? Why is it that we got black folks that will fund everything under the sun? We'll go fund a white boy startup in Silicon Valley. We'll go buy a $24 million diamond to put in their forehead like that stupid rapper Uzi Vert, or go out here and buy a European car and spend all their money trying to get a house in the Hamptons, but ain't got time to go write a check to the people that are putting black economics at the top of their priority list. I don't know about you, and this is not about Byron Allen anymore. I am not here to diss Byron Allen, but I'm kind of tired of black people being the side chick or the lonely stepchild that's been abandoned by all the people that want to show up when it's time to get the benefits, but don't want to show up when it's time to pay the cost. Freedom has a price. If you ain't willing to pay the price, then you're not going to get it. Freedom is not for children. Freedom is for grown folks. So that means in order to have freedom, you must be mature enough to handle the responsibilities necessary to lift your community to an adequate level. If you're not prepared, if you're most successful, if you're wealthiest black people do not feel compelled on any level to come and make infrastructural investments in the upliftment and the elevation of black people, then those people are as worthless as a fucking Proud Boy. They are as worthless as a Klansman. They are as worthless as a Democratic or Republican politician. These people have no value to the black community if they're not making infrastructural investments to elevate the condition of the black community. So if you're going to put black people's name in your mouth when it's time for you to go fight your personal battle, or to get your job back, to go settle your lawsuit, or whatever it is, or you mad because somebody wouldn't buy your movie script and you want to scream racism, that's cool. But the giving and the taking needs to be a two-way street. You cannot just come and take and not give a whole lot back. So I'm just going to say this. I'm going to go ahead and issue the verdict preliminarily based on what I know, that Byron Allen was real heated about being black because he was trying to win a lawsuit. I did not get the impression that this is his normal state of affairs. I did not get the impression that he wakes up every morning with black power on his lips. I think that when you calculate the fact that all that billions of dollars in wealth it's not going to be left to a black woman. It's going to be left to this lady. I don't even know this. She might be a very nice lady, but she ain't a sister. I know a lot of great sisters that would put that wealth right back into the community. So I really think that the burden of proof is on anybody who wants to run and say, look at how bad white folks are treating me, and then get the black community to back them. I think the burden of proof is on them to show that they're giving as much as they are taking. And initially, when I saw Byron's first interview on The Breakfast Club, I loved it. I thought he's so smart. He's so brilliant. He was so articulate. But then after a while, when I started seeing media-based shenanigans, I said, okay, a lot of this is staged, and I wonder if the fix is in. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know how that's going to sound to other people. I'm not trying to be mean. I swear to God, I'm not trying to be mean. But I really think that as black people, we've got to be more critical in terms of how we get triggered and how people might trigger us to pursue an agenda that does not benefit us. It's one thing if you're triggering black folks in a way where you're going to benefit and black people are going to benefit. That's cool. I don't have a problem with that. If you're routed like, so if Farrakhan says, hey, y'all, this really terrible thing's going to happen. If you don't back me on this, then bad things are going to occur. Well, I'm going to listen to Farrakhan. You know why I'm going to listen? Because Farrakhan has always put you first. But the fact that he puts you first is why he gets ostracized by everybody else. So there's no celebrity in Hollywood, black, white, or otherwise, that I would put ahead of a Minister Farrakhan, because Farrakhan carries his blackness on his chest, on his sleeve. The chip is on his shoulder. He makes it 100% clear. I am black first every day of the week and twice on Sundays, and you're never going to change that. You need to learn how, if you care about your community, if you don't care about the black community, then you should probably leave. But if you care about the black community, you need to learn how to put those people ahead of the celebrity who wrote your favorite song or somebody who's on your favorite TV show. You know, these black people have been appointed. They've been selected, carefully selected. And it's not a meritocracy. It's based on who fits in. Who's the better white supremacist? If you're black and you're an excellent white supremacist, then guess what? You are going to be the most popular Negro in the building, because that's all they want. They want people that are going. White supremacist systems only reward white supremacists. White supremacist systems do not reward people who put the black community first. That's just what it is. So I'm going to go. I'm already wondering, how this is going to sound, because I'm sure somebody listening knows Byron. They're going to be like, hey, Dr. Boyce was talking bad about you, man. I'm not talking bad about him. If there's information that I should be aware of that is inconsistent with what I've just stated, I will go on the air and I will repeat that information. I will be very happy to say, you know what? I heard from Byron. Here's his side of the story. I think that's important, right? But I think at the end of the day, if you run around and you think that anybody who speaks on behalf of the black community is a hater, then that makes you an idiot, because you need people that are willing to be haters in favor of blackness. You need people that are willing to step up and defend the community. You need people that are going to put the black community first. And one of the biggest problems you have is you have people that every time somebody says something like this, every time somebody says, well, look at all these celebrities sucking money out of the black community and using blackness for their agenda, but they're not giving nothing back. They're like, oh, you a hater, man. You a hater. You supposed to be, you just mad. You got your hand in that man's pocket. Shut up, idiot. Get out of here. Get out of here. Seriously, if you talk like that, you need to leave because this is not the place for you. You clearly don't understand power, and you don't understand in every community, they expect you to give back. If you are in the Jewish community and you go up and you end up making $100 million a year out in Hollywood, you better be giving money to the synagogue, and you better be writing fat checks. You better not be sending pocket change to the synagogue, or you ain't going to be invited back to the community. They will not invite you to the cookout. If you're in the Asian community and you go out here and you're making a bunch of money off China, oh, you better be kissing the pinky ring. You better be making sure China's taken care of. You get out of line, they will come handle you. So part of the reason that the black community has nothing is because you allow for what Dr. Anderson refers to in Black Labor, White Wealth as the doctrine of unequal exchange. The doctrine of unequal exchange is where you are giving away more than you're receiving. They are taking from you and giving nothing back in return because you're asking for nothing. And part of the reason you ask for nothing is because of exactly what Ice Cube had to deal with, where he got more animosity from black people than he got from white people. There were even white people who said, thank God, it's great to see that there's finally somebody standing up for the black community. And those black people were like, Nero, sit down, Nero, you about to mess it up for everybody. Massa gonna come get us. You better, what's wrong with you, boy? What's wrong with you, boy? Y'all saw it. Y'all saw it all happen. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw the slave talk. And I'm just telling you, slave talk is not for free people. Free people don't do slave talk. You need to learn how to do freedom talk. Freedom talk involves accountability. That's all it is. And accountability is not haterology. Haterology is something different. In fact, I'd say haterology is when you want to keep your community down because you don't want accountability. It's like the man who gets mad because his baby mama asked him to come and pick up his kids. Well, why you hating? Why you hating? I got my paycheck. Why you hating? You asking for money for diapers. Why you hating? She ain't hating. She's asking you to be a damn man. Stop acting like a damn little boy. Stop resorting every call for accountability to be hating. You just hating on me cause you don't want me to be a player. Shut up. Just shut up. I'm done talking. Have a good day, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. Please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button. And by the way, if you haven't learned to buy stock in the stock market yet, that's a great way to become rich like Byron Allen. I have a free training, totally free. There's an offer there to get 90% off of the mini class. But if you don't want to take it, you don't have to. You can go to firstsharestock.com. It's totally free. So feel free to get started. Also, we have a Black Stock Market Challenge. I want everybody in here, everybody who watches me, to be a stock market investor because there's too much money out there for you to be missing it. So the stock market challenge is also free. That's a 5-day class that gets emailed to you. So by the time you're done, you will be versed on the markets and how they work. So go to the blackstockmarketchallenge.com if you'd like to participate in the challenge. It's totally free. So before you go do the Bust It challenge or the Big Booty challenge or the Cardi B challenge or whatever stupid challenge is taking over the community, how about we do some challenges that involve black people, black wealth, and us being great again instead of us simply embracing the slave mentality. So this is a war, people. This is a war. It's free people against the slaves. That's what it's going to end up becoming, because believe me, your greatest adversaries are not going to be the white man. He's not the one blocking you from reading books or advancing yourself. It's going to be other black people who don't want to see you make progress. I see that war happening every day. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to win it. So take care, guys. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boy's TV. Here we are.